Chris Morales with all the broadcast production back at the mothership. Production assistance from Rebecca Wills, and Emily Heibel was our executive producer. It was such an honor and a privilege to have our home booth with us on the road for a game of this magnitude. Dick Dornan and Nick Cope, our statistician and our spotter, with us at Lumen Field in Seattle. Disappointed in defeat, but great to be surrounded by the people we trust the most. Jory Hirsch, as always, leading the way, our boss, and then some. We'll leave you there at the end of a very successful and rewarding and fulfilling 2025 campaign. We wish it was going to Santa Clara next, but it ends here in Seattle in the NFC Championship game. Your Los Angeles Rams on the losing end of a 31-27 score. Post-game coverage begins now on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
The NFC Championship game is the final from Lumen Field in Seattle.
Rams football on ESPN LA is presented by
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times.
Rams football on ESPN Los Angeles is powered by ZipRecruiter. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Driven by Subaru of Glendale, the #1 Subaru dealer in America. Find your next Subaru at Subaru of Glendale or at SubaruofGlendale.net.
Highlands. Get reliable leg cramp relief fast.
Brought to you by the Los Angeles International Airport, where change is in the air. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
Vista Paint. When toughness matters, Vista Paint delivers. Durable finishes, local quality, built to perform.
Brought to you by your Southern California Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Thank you for listening to Rams football today on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
And it is a final. And the Seahawks win this one. Rams lose the NFC Championship game. Time to react right now with Travis Rogers and Sua Cravens. Producer Emily's here too. Rams postgame show. We'll take your reaction on the phone lines and look ahead at how we can fix it next season.
And the Rams lose to the Seahawks. The playoff run ends tonight in Seattle. Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl.
Rams postgame show right now.
It's time for the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network with Sua Cravens. Here's your host, Travis Rogers.
The Rams season comes up one game short of Super Bowl 60, a 31-27 final score from Lumen Field, where the Seahawks beat the Rams for the second time in the season. And Sua, it was incredibly close again. Before we get into it, let me give you the phone number, 213-799-0139, if you want to talk about this Rams season that ends in the NFC Championship. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
All right, so here's the number one more time, 213-799-0139. If you would like to get in and talk about the Rams NFC Championship game, lost 31-27, and there's a lot to get into. There was a special team snafu. Stop me if you've heard that before. The Rams secondary felt very vulnerable. Sam Darnold had what Tom Brady called the best game of his entire career tonight, and he was very, very good along. But your initial thoughts, Sue, after the Rams fall 31-27?
Exactly the type of game you'd expect. Just did all the things that we said you couldn't do in the pregame. You can't give the ball right back and allow this offense to get a rhythm. The moment you can't manage the clock, this offense finds a way to create that momentum. You can't stop, and that's exactly what we saw the entire. Every time Seattle scored, it came off the back of a quick LA drive.
Yeah. It was incredibly close. And when, we'll go through the numbers and we'll talk about Sam Darnold having a big day like he obviously did. He threw for nearly 350 yards. Matthew Stafford threw for nearly 400 yards. They both put up crazy numbers. Neither of them threw an interception. Both of them threw 3 touchdown passes. And like we talked about during the pregame show, like we've seen these games come down to in the previous 2 times they've played each other this season, it is going to be a play or two, a drive or two. And the Rams did not execute the end of the second quarter particularly well. They had a chance to run out the clock / get more points and take a lead or a slightly larger lead in the half. Instead, they had a very quick 3-and-out. They give it right back to Seattle, who takes advantage of it, goes right down there, and they score a touchdown right before the end of the half. And then the Rams make a huge mistake on special teams. Xavier Smith has a ball bounce off of him as he's falling to the ground. They recover it. They score a very quick, short touchdown one play later, and that's the difference in the game.
All the things that have happened over the season, we saw tonight. And this is why when it happens the first time, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was 1 in a million. It happens the second time. Okay, well, something needs to get fixed. But every time the Rams lost this year, it was this same exact way. A turnover, a special teams miscue, offense falling asleep, and the defense playing sloppy down the field, penalties or not, just can't cover down the field. This is all the things we saw all year long.
You know, the Seahawks made a big mistake as well. Reek Woolen had a taunting penalty after a 4th and 12 play, or third down play, 3rd and 12, 4th down play, excuse me, doesn't go. He picks up a 15-yard taunting penalty that gives the Rams a first down. Puka Nacua catches a 34-yard touchdown pass on the very next play.
On him.
On him.
Mm-hmm.
They go right back at him again. That's the one mistake that Seattle made. The Rams made 2. There's the difference in the game.
Yep. And I never thought in a million years that I'd say Sam Darnold's going to beat Matthew Stafford in a quarterback duel. Sam Darnold's going to outpass Matthew Stafford in a high-scoring NFC Championship game. Now, if I said that to you, you'd say, does Sam throw 2 or 3 interceptions? Were they down? Were the Seahawks down?
Sure.
No, it's when Sam is on, he's a guy. He took Minnesota to the playoffs last year. I never understood why he was written off.
They were 14-3 last year.
I never understood why he was written off so quickly in Minnesota or looked at as this guy that, you know what you're getting from Sam. What are you getting from Sam? 14 wins? That's what we last saw.
And he had 14 more this season as well. And now he's going back to not going back. He's going to the Super Bowl for the very first time. And it just was like, it almost like something clicked in him halfway through the fourth quarter of the Rams game back in week 11, where he just all of a sudden looked calmer. He looked more in control of what was going on. And tonight he got sacked a few times. And it's not like he played a perfect game, but he never looked sped up like we're talking about. It never looked like he was, seeing ghosts. It never looked like he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do. Now, there were some loose throws in there, but, that's just a football game. He was terrific tonight.
Yeah, he was great tonight. And maybe it was because he was playing at home. Maybe he was just comfortable with the tempo of the game. The entire time, the Seahawks dictated the pace of this game. Besides the 2 drives where the Rams went 6 minutes, 10-plus plays and scored, which is what was the recipe for success, the Seahawks controlled the tempo of this game. Never at one time did I feel like the Seahawks were on the bottom end of the stick. It felt like the Rams were chasing the entire time.
It did feel that way. Even when they had a lead briefly towards the end of the second half.
Never felt secure.
It felt like, all right, let's see what it's about to happen next because Seattle was able to respond so quickly. Let's talk about this one very quickly before we get into some of your phone calls, 213-799-0139. We got a lot of phone calls that we're going to get to. But the decision of the Rams on 4th and 4 with 4 minutes and 59 seconds left in the game, they opted to go for it. They were on the 11-yard line. They had a chance to go in there and take a shot. They didn't get it. They opted not to kick the field goal. Now, hindsight being 20/20, had they gotten the ball back with a little bit more, a field goal obviously would have been able to tie the game right there. Instead, they decided to go for it. What did you make of that decision?
I liked it. I like that they went for it because obviously they weren't going to be able to stop the Seahawks on offense. They weren't going to. And we can't say you never know. We just saw.
Yeah.
We just saw them. The Seahawks got the ball back with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left. The Rams had 2 timeouts and a 2-minute timeout.
Grinded it out.
It didn't matter. They
couldn't get a tackle.
They couldn't get a tackle. They were off balance. It seemed like when the Rams thought they were going to run the ball, Seahawks went play action. When the Rams thought they were going to go play action, they were running the ball. It's just the entire game. I never one time felt like the Rams on defense had a step. Even when they made a play, they'd get a sack. They'd get the Seahawks in 2nd and long. It still felt like we need another play to ensure they punt.
There was only 1 or 2 plays in the whole game defensively for the Rams that felt like they were dictating the terms. On offense, they were dictating terms. And again, Seattle has the best defense in the league, and the Rams went out there and put up 27 points and were able to move the ball against the best defense in the league. Again, the Rams offense, I think, all in all, you're probably pretty pleased with what you saw. The Rams defense, like you said, though, Sua, it felt like they were reacting to what was being done to them virtually the entire night.
And because of that, they started leaving those DBs alone in the secondary, which was my big concern. Because I said in the pregame, there's going to have to be a decision that's made. Do you decide to leave? And I said Forbes, but it wasn't Forbes.
It's Darius Williams.
It was Williams tonight. Do you decide to now, when you see, Kenneth Walker is getting 5 yards of carry, which he was, do we add an extra to the box and leave these DBs one-on-one against Jackson, Smith, and Jigba? You have to make a decision. And when they did, the Seahawks had blood in the water, and Jackson Smith started popping off.
Jackson Smith and Jigba torched the Rams tonight. 10 catches, 163 yards, and a touchdown. And it felt like every time they needed a play, he was the one, whether it was a big play down the field, whether it was a touchdown, whether it was a play to extend that last drive of the game to give the Rams virtually no time on the backside. Every time they needed it, JSN was the guy they went to.
He's the guy. He's their Puka. And the biggest thing for me tonight was, again, how the Seahawks, and I don't know if it's because Devontae might not be 100%, but how the Seahawks were able to limit Devontae. I know he scored twice.
Once.
Or he scored once, and he had a few big plays. But that offense did not look like they had Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams on opposite sides.
Puka Nacua, the stat line, pretty good. 9 catches, 165 yards, and a touchdown. Devontae Adams, 4 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. But I agree. See, we've watched Puka all season. We've watched Devontae all season. We've seen when they've had massive impacts on the game. They had impacts on the game, but not like we've seen previously. Again, I don't think the Rams are done with their season because their offense didn't do enough. It felt like their defense. And, again, their special teams did not do enough as well. Lots of your phone calls, and they're coming up next. 213-799-0139. That's all straight ahead on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Los Angeles, if you missed out on any action this past season, don't make the same mistake. Secure your spot in the Rams house for 2026. Watch every home game next year with big-time matchups against the Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, and Packers. In addition, enjoy home playoff ticket access, interest-free monthly payment plans, and stadium event pre-sale access. Visit therams.com/2026. Again, that is therams.com/2026. Don't miss out on any of next season's action. Get your Rams season tickets today.
Some things are better live. That's why at Unified Financial Credit Union, we staff our call center with live Unified team members. So instead of this...
Sorry, there's no one available to take your call.
You get this.
This is John from Unify. How are you today?
So whether you need to move money, open a credit card, or take out an auto loan, you can connect live with a Unified team member in any state, 7 days a week. Unified Financial Credit Union. Connect your way. Now the official credit union of the Los Angeles Rams. Unified is an equal opportunity lender insured by NCUA.
Hey, Rams fans, we've teamed up with Bloom Ranch to ensure we have the healthiest fans in the league. That's why we're committed to delivering some of the freshest fruits and veggies to your door. And here's the best part. The first 100 boxes are on us. That's right. We're giving away the first 100 boxes. After that, enjoy 30% off on your first box upon signing up at www.bloomranchofacton.com and enter promo code ThankYouRams. There are no fans like Rams fans. Winning and getting healthier together is the real flex. So hurry, this offer won't last forever. Follow Bloom Ranch on IG and share how you're getting healthier using #BloomRamFit.
Hey, it's me, your heart valve. The blood flowy thing in your heart. Ooh, hear that? The whole stadium's cheering for heart valve screenings? Detecting heart valve disease is super important, especially if you're over 65. It's deadly if you don't treat it. That's right. Bo! Heart valve disease! Bo! Good news is, early detection saves lives. Go to listentoyourvalves.com and get screened for heart valve disease. Oh, and go Rams!
Change is in the air at LAX. Los Angeles International Airport's automated people mover trains are rolling soon as part of LAX's ongoing investments in improving your travel journey. The new trains will quickly move guests between all terminals, the new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, and economy parking in 10 minutes or less. Departing every 2 minutes, they'll help approximately 30 million passengers per year. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN. That's lawa.org/ESPN.
Join the club at Pechanga Resort Casino, official California gaming and casino partner of the Los Angeles Rams. New club members who sign up receive a $25 resort credit, as well as a chance to win $100 in bonus credit. Enjoy perks like earning club dollars with every bet, invitations to exclusive promotions and events, and much, much more. Visit the club at Pechanga to sign up and start receiving benefits right away. Your perfect entertainment resort casino combination is available at Pechanga, voted the best Southern California casino.
We are reacting to the NFC Championship game tomorrow on a Rams Reaction Monday. All day on your home of Rams football. ESPN LA.
This is the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network. Time to react right now with Travis Rogers and Sua Cravens. Producer Emily's here too. Rams postgame show. We'll take your reaction on the phone lines and look ahead at how we can fix it next season.
And the Rams lose to the Seahawks. The playoff run ends tonight in Seattle. Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl.
Rams postgame show right now.
Once again at LA Live with Sua Cravens. Back to Travis Rogers.
3 left, Higbee right. He's away from center. Play action pass. Spins his head around, and he whistles one to the end zone. Caught by Puka at the front left pylon. On one strike, Matthew to Puka. He puts it in the paint, and the Rams are back. 2:06 to go in the third. 31-26 our score.
That is your Rams call of the game, and it's presented to you by the Call Jacob Injury Hotline, the only number LA trusts after an accident. 800-345-6789. That's 800-345-6789. Puka with his touchdown reception right there, right after Reek Woolen had given the Rams a second life with a terrible taunting penalty. He's kind of taunting Matthew Stafford a little bit at Puka, a little bit at Sean McVay. They threw the flag, and it felt like that might have been the break that the Rams needed along the way, kind of a, something that you probably shouldn't get that you do get. And they did. They went and they scored the touchdown. They just couldn't, their defense just was never able to keep giving the ball back and keeping Seattle off the board.
Yep. That was going to be the key. Defense wins championships. I know it's a cliche saying, but you just saw it. It doesn't really matter how dynamic and high-powered your offense is. If you can't get a stop, there's only so much time left on the clock.
All right, your phone calls right now, 213-799-0139. Let's start in Lakewood with Greg. Greg, you're on the Rams postgame show with Trav and Sua. What's up, Greg?
Hello. Just calling to say I can see wonder why Chris Sewell didn't get a head coaching job, because his defense was lousy all year. Sean McVay special teams was lousy all year. Why was that guy back there returning the punt? He almost lost the punt in the beginning of the game.
All right, thank you, Greg. First of all, let's kind of go through this point by point. Chris Sewell might still get a job, so that's something that he hasn't got one yet. I think that there's still a decent chance that he will. So, all right, there's number one. Number two, the Rams defense, in his word, was lousy all year. No, it wasn't. It was not particularly good tonight, and there were moments towards the end of the season where it wasn't very good. But that's what was so frustrating, I think, Sua, is that through the beginning to the middle part of the season, even about 2/3 of the way through the season, the Rams defense was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of lost its way towards the last part, and in particular today.
Well, they stopped getting those timely turnovers, and I remember us talking about Landman for about 2 months, saying, where has he been? Like, we got so accustomed to seeing him get at least one punch out a game that we started expecting them, and you take them for granted. But we got kind of drunk with those turnovers that the Rams defense was getting, and we expected that to be normal. It's very hard to get turnovers. Just ask the Jets.
Yeah, they had no interceptions all season long. And look, I'm not making excuses for anybody. The Rams defense was not good tonight, full stop, period, sentence, paragraph. The Rams spend their money on the other side of the ball. The Rams spend their money on Matthew Stafford. They spend their money on Devontae Adams. They spend their money, Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams. This is not a team that is spending the money equally on both sides of the ball. They put most of their assets on the offensive side, and they're trying to get by with less money going to that side of the ball. And look, I think eventually it did catch up. We've been talking about it all year long. The Rams secondary was clearly an issue. It was a big issue tonight. And then the other thing that the caller had to say that I do think he was right about is that the special teams were bad all season long, and they were.
Yeah, they were.
And they had another snafu tonight.
They were. And I guess because of this game, I now ask you, do you think that with that pick, do the Rams go Mekhi Lemon still for offense, or do they go like a D'Angelo Pons to just guarantee you get a guy at DB that is someone that can plug and play right now?
I think that so much of this depends, and we'll talk about this throughout the rest of the postgame show. So much of it depends on what you're going to do at quarterback. So much of it depends on if you're going to use those 2 first-round picks you have. Do you want to move up and do something else? Do you want to pick 2 different things? But I don't think there's any question, Sua, that you have to address the secondary, whether that's through the draft, whether that's through free agency, but you have to get better at those spots.
Yeah, I think they need 2 corners. I think they need 2 corners, and they might even need another pass rusher. They need consistent pressure. I think that's what not having Aaron Donald was missing the most this year.
Look, the Rams love this guy. He's an all-pro. He's a Pro Bowler, and he's an incredible talent. But we did not say Jared Verse's name very many times tonight. Like no. He had a very, very quiet night for a guy that I don't want to say is replacing Aaron Donald. Nobody replaces Aaron Donald, but the next star on the Rams defense was not an impactful player tonight.
No. And you can't have that. You need your guys to be guys, especially in championship moments. And maybe that's the offense game planning away from him. Maybe they're sliding double team his way. Maybe they're getting it out quick and he can't be as effective as he wants to be. But you just know in a game like that, you need wreckers, and Aaron Donald was that. Myles Garrett is that. It's just guys that make a difference.
Just make something happen out of thin air sometimes. No matter what, they're going to find a way to make a play. Let's try another phone call here, 213-799-0139. If you'd like to get in on this, let's go to Compton next. And Rob, you're on with Trav and Sue on the Rams postgame show. What's up?
How you doing? Look, I'm a Cowboys fan, but as a Rams season ticket holder, Sean McVay, you got your quarterback from Dallas, not your gameplay. Why not just go for the field goal and give yourself a chance to kick another field goal if you get a chance to stop the Seahawks? I just don't understand it.
Sure.
They weren't going to stop the Seahawks. I mean, they went for it, didn't get it, and had a chance to stop the Seahawks with 90 yards of offense.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't get it done. Not 1 first down, not 2 first down. I think it was 3 first downs before the Seahawks got rid of the ball. So if they kick 3 right there and give the Seahawks the ball back at the 30, I think that it's the same predicament.
It crossed my thought too, Rob. I thought that was because there was 5 minutes left in the game, or 4 minutes and 59 seconds when they decided to go for it right there. I thought maybe, but the more I think about it, the more I think that Sue is right, the more I think that Sean McVay is right. The Rams give up 396 yards of total offense today. That's a lot. That is a lot. That is something that they couldn't get much done tonight. I think their best chance, like we've talked about this a bunch during the season, the Rams' best chance to win games this year was with their offense, not by trying to get a stop and kick field goals. They're going to try to score touchdowns. I do think it's debatable. I do think because there was 5 minutes left, because you did have timeouts, and maybe you could try to summon some of those plays, but you said it in real time, Sue, that you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, and I think their best defense today was offense. I think the only way that they were slowing the Seahawks down tonight was by keeping the offense on the field and scoring points, and tonight was not a game where I think even taking the points was going to save them. It's just their defense could not keep up.
No, the defense had a very bad night. Or I guess if you want to be, generous to Sam Darnold had the best night of his NFL career. And it wasn't fluky. It wasn't like, he had a bunch of crazy tip balls and anything. He just went out there and just put the ball on the numbers over and over and over again. He was very, very good tonight.
Just diced them up. Very efficient. Didn't panic. Didn't force any throws like we expected him to do. He just stood in the pocket, took hits when he needed to take hits. And
yep. And you know what he did, too? There wasn't even those times, maybe once, and I'm kind of going by memory here, maybe once where we went, ooh, like you thought he was going to throw an interception. Like usually when the ball was delivered, it was on the money to a Seattle player or it was clearly a throwaway. Mm-hmm. There weren't any balls that were really put in harm's way.
Yeah, and the opposite for Stafford tonight. Stafford could have easily had 3 or 4 picks tonight. So one was pressing and one didn't look sped up at all. And if you were asking me before the game, I actually said it. I thought Stafford would win that battle 10 times out of 10.
31-27, the final score. The Seahawks will go to Super Bowl 60 to take on the New England Patriots, and the Rams get ready to go to the Combine, to draft, to open training camp, and try to run it all back all over again. More of your phone calls coming up next. 213-799-0139. Plus, we'll hear from Rams head coach Sean McVay. It's all coming up on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
The We Make It Easy sales event is here. So now's the best time for a great deal on a new Toyota. Choose from the biggest selection of the year with the biggest savings. Drive home the all-hybrid Camry with its striking design, a trail-conquering Tacoma 4x4, or an adventurous RAV4. So hurry into your Toyota dealer. The time to drive home your new Toyota is here. We make it easy. Toyota. Let's go places.
Have an injury? DTLA Law Group. We only get paid if you win. Get a free case review. Text injury help to 40222 or go to calldowntown.com. This ad is brought to you by Fareed Yaghubtil, Esquire, Downtown LA Law Group, SB number 282476, 540 South Santa Fe, Los Angeles, California. Previous results do not guarantee same outcome. This ad does not constitute an attorney-client relationship. Data and SMS messaging rates may apply. Text injury help to 40222.
One briefcase, one moment could change everything. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving you a chance to own your destiny in 2026. Play throughout the month of January, and on January 28th, one Club Serrano member will win the case, and with it, a finale spot in any 2026 promotion, plus $400,000. Which destiny will you choose? It's all happening at Yamava Resort and Casino, celebrating its 40th anniversary. You in? Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, bro. Weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When a parent sees their child smile, they see hope. Aleem hoped that his son Rajib would have an easier life than he had. You see, Rajib, just like his father, was born with a cleft. But thanks to Smile Train, both father and son received free, life-changing surgeries, transforming their smiles into symbols of hope. To learn more and support the global cleft community, visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
With America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds. Like the reliable and efficient Tucson Hybrid, backed by America's best warranty. The Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. It's the best of both worlds.
Now, lease a Hyundai Tucson for $269 a month or get 0.99% APR financing for 60 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end February 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
We are reacting to the NFC Championship game tomorrow on a Rams Reaction Monday, all day on your home of Rams football, ESPN LA.
This is the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network. Time to react right now with Travis Rogers and Sua Cravens. Producer Emily's here too. Rams postgame show. We'll take your reaction on the phone lines and look ahead at how we can fix it next season.
And the Rams lose to the Seahawks. The playoff run ends tonight in Seattle. Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl.
Rams postgame show right now.
Once again at LA Live with Sua Cravens. Back to Travis Rogers.
31-27 is the final. The Seahawks will play the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. The Rams are going to have to figure out what comes next. What comes next at quarterback, what comes next in the draft, what comes next in the secondary. A lot of questions for the Rams as they get their offseason started basically tonight after the 31-27 loss, a very tough loss. The first loss for Sean McVay in the NFC Championship. His record in that game is now 2-1. And he spoke with J.B. Long and Maurice Jones-Drew after the loss.
Back at Lumen Field with the head coach of your Los Angeles Rams, 31-27 the final. Sean, I know it's always difficult to put your thoughts on a season in these moments, but we pass the mic to you and ask you to do the best you can.
Yeah. I love this team. Really proud of them, man. This came up short today. I think the finality of all of it is, listening to that music in the background makes me want to throw up. I'll be honest with you, but Seattle's a great team. They did enough to come away with the win, and love this team. One of my all-time favorites, and I think the finality of it all, it doesn't even feel real to me.
Coach Puka Nacua had another big day. It seemed like he was going. Talk about a little bit what he did tonight and how he did this season for you.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean, I really thought our offense had pretty good control of the game. I mean, I thought, we just didn't get enough possessions, but, came up short on the one drive that we drove all the way down there, had our chances, but I thought the guys played really well offensively. Puka was outstanding. I thought Matthew was great. Devontae made his plays. Our backs played really tough. Colby made some big plays, and so, I'm proud of this football team. I love this team.
Sean, thank you as always for taking us along on another successful journey.
Thanks, guys.
It's really striking, Sua, how rare hearing Sean McVay despondent is. Like, even when they lose during the regular season, Sean McVay is frustrated. Frequently, he can be angry. He can be, extremely animated. But there's always this underpinning of optimism that he's going to be able to fix it and it's going to get better and they're going to move on in a positive way from there. But when your season ends the way it did, and by the way, it's not like they embarrassed. They made a couple of mistakes that cost them the game, and you could tell that Sean McVay was deeply, deeply hurt by the loss.
Yeah, you could tell he didn't. That music in the background was
not a Kool in the Gang fan tonight.
No,
no, he wants to throw up, I believe, is what he said.
I'm surprised that he finished the interview. I thought he was gonna walk away after he said that, but no, he's right. They did enough.
They made two mistakes. I mean, really. And you go and you watch the film, and I'm sure there are far more than two, but there are two things. The Xavier Smith muff on the fumble, which gave Seattle an incredibly short field. They scored one play later, and their inability to manage the clock better at the end of the second quarter. They left too much time on it. Seattle was able to get it back, and they went and scored a touchdown. Those are the two mistakes.
Yeah, and it's just the defense. The defense playing like that, you're not going to beat anybody. If we're being honest about it, you're not going to have much success in the playoffs if you can't stop a team. Like 5 yards of carry on that last drive when Kenneth Walker's not getting touched until he's 6 yards down the field. It's like, come on.
They were on the field a lot. It felt like the defense, and they just could not get any sort of attack going. It felt like they were responding to what Seattle was doing them all night long, and they never really got it squared away. Let's try another phone call here. Let's go to Rocky this time. Rocky, you're on the Rams postgame show with Travis and Sue. What's up, Rocky?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Guys, we got to forget about Sean McVay's play calling decisions today on offense. Maybe his timeouts, questionable challenges. I just am left wondering after watching these Rams play today is how do you not game plan for number 11 on the other side? There is no way Jackson is open all game. You have a depleted Cooper Kupp running slants up the middle to seal the game in the fourth quarter, and you have no answers from your defense. Was the Rams defense this naked all year and we just didn't know? Or was this just a complete collapse in a championship game?
I think that's the question that the Rams are going to have to try to figure out the answer to. And thank you, Rocky, for the call. Are they a good defense that needs to a little tweaks around the edges? You need to fix some of the corners, or do they need a more, comprehensive overhaul on that side of the ball?
You need pass rush first of all, and you need two corners. That's what's. It's
felt like they had the pass rush for a good chunk of the season, though.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the season, definitely it felt like they had teams kind of figured out, and when the secondary was playing with a little more confidence, they were able to send a little bit more pressure. But when they got injured. When that leg injury kicked in, the secondary kind of changed, and the way teams approached attacking the Rams changed, and we started seeing a lot of those mistakes start becoming more frequent. And you just need two veteran corners, and they need a real third down pass rusher. It's just the fact.
As far as what Rocky said about, where was the game plan for JSN, and I appreciate the question. I don't think there is one, and there really isn't one when you have the personnel that the Rams have. Like if you had prime Jalen Ramsey, then maybe you got a chance to to do something like that. But JSN torched everybody all year long. This is one of those guys. Similar, different stylistic. It's the same as Puka. There is no answer for this. He's going to get open. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to run your guys over.
We know he's getting the ball, and he's going to finish with 12 catches, 130.
You just hope that it's not the reason you lose. And I don't think it was the reason they lost the game tonight. I mean, don't get me wrong. JSN had a bunch of big plays. It was the defense collectively. It wasn't that just he went crazy and no one else did everything. The entire Seattle offense was clicking tonight.
Kenneth Walker had a great game tonight. They were able to get Cooper Kupp the ball. I want people to know I had Cooper Kupp on my fantasy team this year. This would have been his best game of the season.
Cooper Kupp had 4 catches for 36 yards.
and a touchdown. And that would have been his best game of the season.
I mean, look, Cooper Kupp is a Rams legend. Cooper Kupp is going to always be held in a very special place in Rams fans' hearts, but
you're not kicking yourself for giving up 36 yards.
For giving up 36 yards to Cooper Kupp along the way. 213-799-0139 is the number. Let's go to the next one here. Let's go to Chris in Los Angeles. Chris, you're on with Trav and Sua. What's up?
Hey, fellas, a couple of things. One, I don't know how the punt returner thought he'd have a better chance laying on his back and catching the ball than just getting out of the way. That's just bizarre, and that, again, continues the special teams problem. But the other thing I want to talk to you about is not going for the field goal. And, Sua, I know you and Trav think that, that was the right decision. And you both are, I met you, Sua, on the sidelines of the SC game. Travis, we met at the Rams season ticket holder years ago. I both respect your opinions. You guys know your football, and it's always great to listen to you.
But
I disagree with that. But, right? And here's the reason. Here's the reason. One, we keep seeing coaches go for it and thinking of what's going to happen if I get it, instead of thinking of what's going to happen if I don't get it, okay? Points are a premium in the playoffs. We saw that with the Broncos game. They wish they had taken the points. But this is the other thing. If you look at stats that everything is driven by now, they were middle of the pack on third down conversions. 3rd and 4 is like basically a mid-level third down conversion. They were 25% in the game today. So there's a 75% chance you're not going to make this field goal. I mean, this fourth down. Instead, I can take the 3 points. I can be down 1 point. And Sua, to your point, this is where I disagree with you. If you feel like you can't stop Seattle, then it doesn't matter if you get the 7 points on that fourth, you convert and get the touchdown or not. You still have to stop them. Of course you have to feel like you can stop them. If they take the points, they're down 1. It's a completely different approach, trying to get a game-winning field goal at the end instead of that scramble stuff that we saw. So I respectfully disagree with you guys. You can't just go for it all the time because, as you've said, Sua, there's players on the other side that get paid well, too, to stop you. And if you don't make it, there are dire consequences. And we keep seeing it over and over and over. And with this age of analytics, I don't think coaches are realizing I need those points at the end of the game. And in this situation, trying a long field goal with one of the best kickers in the NFL versus having to get a touchdown, big difference to me, fellas. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for the great season. Can't wait for next season.
You got it, Chris. Thank you for the phone call. Appreciate it. It's an interesting question, and I want to come back and give it the time that it deserves, because I do think that maybe we've lost the plot a little bit when it comes to going for it and not taking some automatic points, but I'm not quite sure that was a good representation of all of that. We'll come back. More of your phone calls. We'll answer Chris's questions. It is all straight ahead on the Rams Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
And straight to the championship with a brand new truck from Northridge and Wonders Toyota. Lease a brand new 2025 Tacoma for just $84 a month for 36 months plus tax, only from Northridge and Wonders Toyota. You got a trade-in? Your ride could be worth more than you think. So get in the game with Northridge and Wonders Toyota. They make it easy.
Tacoma model 7162G, VIN number 3TYJDAHN1ST037657. Base excludes tax, title, license, registration fees, dealer options, and charges. $59.95 due at signing. $84 per month. Offer expires 1/31/2026.
And this is the NFC Championship game right now. Tomorrow, be sure to react on everything on ESPN LA, your home of Rams football. It begins at 3 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike, Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, they'll be reacting. Then LA's only local sports morning show at 7 a.m., the Sedano and Cab Morning Show. Followed by the Rich Eisen Show, Mason and Ireland at noon, and DeMarco and Travis for the afternoon. Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. Tomorrow, a Rams Reaction Monday on 7:10 a.m., the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Afternoons with DeMarco and Travis. From breaking down the game to breaking down headwear choices nobody asked for.
I got a tip or no tip.
Okay.
Tip or no tip, LeBron would prefer to play in a do-rag.
That's messed up.
I thought you were serious.
Come on, the dude can still ball, but there's some things we can't get away from. You see him work out with the do-rag on, you know he wants to play in that do-rag. You know. I bet he plays better in the do-rag. Come on.
I mean, by the way, do you still rock do-rags?
Every now and then. Do you do a do-rag?
I do, yeah. When I have my braids.
Okay.
We keep it down, yes.
Not every day, but because I get the dent. Yes,
yeah, for sure.
Tight, especially if you sleep in it.
I don't wear one in case you guys are going to ask me.
I was waiting for that.
Sports, culture, and conversations that only happen here. Afternoons with DeMarco and Travis starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and live on YouTube.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of the LA Rams, the home of Rams football. LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
This is the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network. Time to react right now with Travis Rogers and Sua Cravens. Producer Emily's here too. Rams postgame show. We'll take your reaction on the phone lines and look ahead at how we can fix it next season.
And the Rams lose to the Seahawks. The playoff run ends tonight in Seattle. Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl.
Rams postgame show right now.
Once again at LA Live with Sua Cravens. Back to Travis Rogers.
Rams season comes to an end in Seattle, 31-27. The Seahawks will take on the Pats in Super Bowl 60 coming up 2 weeks from today. I want to go back to what Chris, the caller, was talking about a second ago, and this idea that points are precious, that when you get a chance to score points, you need to take them, that you need to consider the downside of going forward on some of these fourth downs. And I think generally I agree with that. I think that we've kind of lost this idea on, well, the math says go for it. What the math can't figure in is the flow of some of these games, of the way that's going. It's just telling you this down and distance at this part of the field, it works this amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? That I don't think it takes in the situationality of it nearly as much. I agree that points are precious. You have no idea what's going to matter at the end of the game in the first, second, and even in the early part of the third quarter, what you're chasing. Just keep stacking points while you can do it. I do think this, considering that the Rams defense, and I understand his point about you're going to have to get a stop anyway. Yes, but if you do get it in that spot, you have the lead. It puts pressure back on Darnold, and he might play a little differently. And even now, they have to push it. They're very likely to go down there and have to move the ball as quickly as they can. You might even get it back again with a chance to kick it at that point. I think that there were 5 minutes left in the game at that point. I understand the thought process of if we get it, we're in good shape. And even if we don't get it, we still have a chance to get it back and maybe win at the end.
To me, it's as simple as the Rams could not get a stop.
Yeah.
You're down 4, and if you kick 3, you're still down 1. And we just saw in real life, they weren't going to get a stop within 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We kick the field goal, you're not getting that ball back. So I just don't, as much as they're saying play the odds of kicking the field goal and getting that 3 and out, that potential 3 and out, we saw the potential. We saw it play out.
Yeah, you saw the reality of it.
They weren't going to get a stop. So you have to at least give your team a chance to take the lead there with the idea that they're going to go down and score again. And hopefully there's enough time to at least get into field goal range.
The Rams were not good on third down tonight, 1 of 8. Seattle was very good on third down tonight, 7 out of 13, so better than 50%. So the idea of getting off the field again later is probably not going to, you had to take your shot right there. And the other thing you mentioned, too, about how, yes, they only think about the good and they never consider the downside of some of these decisions. I actually think that's more of a function of just the way that most of these guys are wired now. I think that going back 15, 20, 30 years ago, coaches were very risk averse, that they would try to avoid bad plays rather than try to make a bunch of good ones. I think that's flipped. I think coaches are far more aggressive just across the board, and they're thinking, let's go make a play as opposed to try to prevent a bad play.
Yeah, and I think that everybody's aware that this is an offensive game where,
yes,
the offenses are catered to with the rules and how the refs call it, and fans want to see touchdowns and yards and plays down the field. but tonight was a game where offense wasn't going to save the Rams, and
they were a little. They gave away a possession. They literally gave away a possession, and that was the difference. Had they had one more possession, and Seattle, quite frankly, one fewer possession, we might be having a different conversation.
Were you surprised at all that they kicked to Shaheed tonight?
They really only did it once. The other
Were
ones
you
were
surprised they gave him a chance?
Yeah, I was, but I think maybe the ball wasn't hit properly, and they weren't trying to give him a chance.
Yeah.
He ended up getting one, but they did. All in all, other than the first play of the game where they hit him for a big passing play, Shaheed was not a huge factor in this game.
Yeah, he was pretty quiet. They did a good job.
Yeah, that 51-yard reception was pretty big.
But talking about in the special teams game,
yeah,
he did not impact the game like that.
If Xavier Smith, and I guess I should know, Tutu was active tonight?
No, he was inactive.
Why is Tutu inactive? Why can't he just be a returner?
They've tried that, and he was a bug on a windshield. Like, literally, they tried it early in his career, and every time he went back there to do it, he would get demolished and miss a bunch of times. So they put Kyren back there early because he misplayed one earlier that he was able to get on top of, and then the one that he misplayed in the third quarter was, quite frankly, probably the difference in the game, as difficult as it is to say that out loud. Let's try another phone call here. Let's go to La Habra this time, and Steve. Steve, you're on with Trav and Sua. What's going on?
Hey, not much, you guys. How are you? We're all upset. And you can have the show go on for 5 hours and get phone calls all night. I think clock management at the end of the first half was a huge mistake. They got 6 yards on the first run. Run it again. Then you pass until there's no time left for Seattle to score. But what do? They have 2 incomplete passes. The clock stops, gives Seattle time to score. And again, everybody's been saying it, like the last caller, kick the field goal. Denver didn't kick the field goal, and they lost by 3 points. You don't know what Sam Darnold's going to do when the Rams are only ahead by 1. And if the Rams are, only down by 1. And if they're down by 1, they get the ball back, all they have to do is kick the field goal. That's why McVay wanted to throw up, is because he made bad decisions. Yes, there are bad drops by the players, fumbles. I forgot 84, who had the ball in his hands to get a first down and dropped it. That was
Parkinson.
huge. Yes, he probably would have scored or at least got to the 10-yard line. But that's why McVay wanted to throw up. He knows he made mistakes. I hope Sean McVay is the coach of the Rams for the next 20 years, and then his son takes over. But that's what that's what's so upsetting. I'm not saying, Sean McVay has to be Chuck Noll and, Bud Grant and just get the 3 points. But guess what? In the playoffs, as we saw today, those 3 points matter. And when the running is working, when you're running the ball and it's working, just keep running the ball down their throat, wearing down the defense. And also, I know Parker dropped the ball, but it seems like Stafford concentrates too much on Puka. And I don't know if the other receivers, guys out of the backfield, like how Goff made millions off of hitting Gurley, hit guys out of the backfield, spread the ball around.
Yeah, Steve, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that. He found 6 different guys caught a pass tonight. He threw to 9 different guys. There were 3 other guys that were targeted that did not catch the ball. Ronnie Rivers, Kanata Mudfield, and Terrence Ferguson were all targeted without getting a reception. So I do think he spreads the ball around. But to your point, Puka was targeted 14 times, Devontae 6, and then it kind of drops off pretty quickly after that, 4, 3, 2, and some ones. But, of course, you're going to throw it to Puka the most. Puka's your best wide receiver. Of course you're going to throw it to Devontae nearly as much. He's your next best guy. I think that Steve's point about the end of the first half, is very well taken. I think that when you got that big chunk on first down, that was a chance to grind this out a little more. If you kept up, I thought Tom Brady did a good job on the television broadcast saying, that's one of those, we're burning clock until we get to the 50. If we get to the 50, now we can think about trying to kick a field goal. If we get to the 20, now we can start thinking about scoring a touchdown. But until you get to the 50-yard line, it's about keeping that clock running so the other guy doesn't get the ball back.
Clock management. It's just not in the Rams' identity to be conscious of the clock like that and to actually slow down and just slow down. And their two most successful drives today were 6-minute drives. And maybe they didn't want to go on those drives. Maybe they didn't want to run the ball as much as they did on those drives, but it worked. And they've got to learn to be okay with taking their time.
Look, we can go through this play call and that play call, and I get it. Sometimes they're a little frustrating. They're a little questionable, and maybe you'd like to have one or two of them back. I think we're missing something. This was not a failure of the offense. The reason the Rams lost tonight, 31-27, is not because they didn't score enough points. It's not because Matthew Stafford didn't do enough or Puka Nacua or Kyren Williams. It's that the defense couldn't stop Sam Darnold. They couldn't cover JSN. They couldn't deal with Kenneth Walker. This was a defensive failure tonight than it was an offensive one.
Yeah, and that's why I asked the question, do you think they still go Mekhi Lemon for the drive? Not that they were going Mekhi Lemon. That's who I think they should grab.
I wonder why.
You know,
I wonder if there's a little SC
don't
flavor
know
going
what
on
you're
here.
talking about, man. He's just a great player. Blitnikoff winner. But if I'm the Rams, I'm seriously considering, barring Stafford saying, hey, I'm done, we might need to get some DBs in here.
Let's talk a little bit about what comes next. Plus, we'll give you our player of the game and, of course, more of your phone calls. It is all coming up. We'll take a look at Super Bowl 60 straight ahead on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Los Angeles, if you missed out on any action this past season, don't make the same mistake. Secure your spot in the Rams house for 2026. Watch every home game next year with big-time matchups against the Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, and Packers. In addition, enjoy home playoff ticket access, interest-free monthly payment plans, and stadium event pre-sale access. Visit therams.com/2026. Again, that is therams.com/2026. Don't miss out on any of next season's action. Get your Rams season tickets today.
Playoffs? Are you kidding me? And chicken wings? You better not be kidding me. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Grab your crew, a brew, and our great game time specials at Good Times Cafe.
Number 2.
Everclear is here, April 4th.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a 2026 Toyota Tundra SR5. Play your favorite table games now with your rewards card for entries. Drawing Sunday.
Morongo, good times.
When it comes to unique experiences, pick TickPick. You're picking the official fan experience partner of the Los Angeles Rams with no hidden fees ever. So pick TickPick for your chance to enjoy an all-exclusive experience at the TRD Pro Club at SoFi Stadium every game. A chance to experience the national anthem on the field, or the opportunity to spend time with friends and family on the field pregame or postgame. Don't let fees get between you and a great game day. Download the TickPick app and enjoy the best experiences supporting your Los Angeles Rams this year. The game's over, but the hunger is just getting started. Albertsons and Vons, official grocery partner of the Los Angeles Rams, has your post-game playbook ready. Skip the stress and score with easy, delicious meals from our deli and ready-to-eat selections. Think rotisserie chickens, fresh salads, hearty soups, and grab-and-go favorites. Perfect for feeding the family without extra effort. Order online and pick up for free when you spend $30 or more, or get delivered straight to your door.
Service fee applies for orders scheduled for delivery and pickup orders under $30.
It's another exciting game day for Rams fans, and on game days, it's all about more. More action, more noise, and more savings. That's right, Rams fans save up to 35 cents per gallon on game days with a fuel rewards program from Shell. That means you can keep your tailgates going all season long. So don't drop the ball on saving more at the pump. Download the app, join the fuel rewards program, and take your savings all the way to the end zone. Terms and conditions apply. Visit www.fuelrewards.com/Rams for full offer details.
Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California Lottery. Players, everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Rams scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
We are reacting to the NFC Championship game tomorrow on our Rams Reaction Monday. All day on your home of Rams football, ESPN LA.
This is the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network. Time to react right now with Travis Rogers and Sua Cravens. Producer Emily's here too. Rams postgame show. We'll take your reaction on the phone lines and look ahead at how we can fix it next season.
And the Rams lose to the Seahawks. The playoff run ends tonight in Seattle. Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl.
Rams postgame show right now.
Once again at LA Live with Sua Cravens. Back to Travis Rogers.
Rams down 4, 31-27, with just outside 8 to go. Shotgun snap. Matthew Stafford has to throw for a yard. He takes off. He scrambles. He lunges. He's got it. With room to spare, Matthew Stafford keeps the drive alive. DeMarcus Lawrence on his back, and Stafford shakes it off. Needed one, got 3.
That is your player of the game, Matthew Stafford, driven by your Toyota dealers, official automotive partner of the Los Angeles Rams. We make it easy, and that was not a play that I think anybody, when he started running, thought that he was going to get there. It was a nice little run by Stafford. He got it done. More of your phone calls coming up in just a second. Matthew Stafford, I think, is very likely to win the MVP. We'll see here coming up in a couple of weeks when they announce the season-ending awards. He's coming off one of the best seasons of his NFL career. He's also in his mid to late 30s. He's played in the league a very, very long time. He's expensive. What do you think happens next? And maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's got to process all of this, but it felt like if you win the Super Bowl, you win the MVP, you almost have to come back at that point because you're playing. It's not a Peyton Manning situation from a few years ago where clearly physically he was done. Now they won the Super Bowl, or even John Elway, who'd just gotten the tar beaten out of him. Matthew Stafford still looks, other than when he runs with the ball, he still looks like Matthew Stafford. What do you think happens next?
I don't know. It's hard to guess, especially if he wins the MVP, because then, his checklist is pretty much done outside of Super Bowl MVP. It's hard to get back to a Super Bowl, and this is back-to-back NFC championships now. So it can be tough. Maybe he comes back and is more motivated than ever because they came up short against a division opponent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's not like last year they lose in the divisional round of the Eagles, but they were right there. This year they lose to the Seattle Seahawks in the championship round, but they're right there. Since Matthew Stafford has been here, they've had one season that was below average, and it's very easily explained because their entire offensive line got obliterated by week 3, and they were chasing their tail trying to give him. Then he gets hurt, and they basically pulled the pin about halfway through the season. They're going to be good next year. They're going to be very good next year. Obviously the teams are always different. This is the last time this group will ever be together, but you look at the wide receivers. Devontae Adams expected to be back. Puka Nacua is going to be back. Jared Verse is going to be back. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, these guys, they're going to be back. They're going to score a lot of points again. If Matthew Stafford's the quarterback, they're going to have one of the better offenses in the league.
And Devontae already told Stafford, what we doing?
Yeah.
Well, as long as you go, I'll go. So it wouldn't hurt to do some convincing to maybe get Stafford to play not just one more, maybe 2 more.
The cost matters, obviously, because quarterbacks are crazy expensive. And what I think makes it a little bit more unique this particular offseason, I don't know if it makes it more or less likely. I think you could argue it both ways. They have 2 first-round draft picks. So if you wanted to move up, you have the capital to do it. You also have 2 first-round draft picks to try to go fix some of the things in your secondary or on the defensive side of the ball that need to improve. And if the offense just kind of stays where it was and the defense gets better, maybe that's the difference between where it ended this year and where it could go next year.
I still think they need a third receiver. I think the offense needs to avoid what happened to the Rams a few times this year when Devontae was hampered with an injury or just being doubled. And when Puka got hurt, how do you avoid the offense becoming stagnant or predictable? And I know the 13 personnel saved us this year. The Rams kind of for 5 weeks were this, well, what are the Rams going to come out doing? Are they going shotgun 11 personnel? Or are they going to this new tight end crazy package and running the football and passing out of it? I think if you add another offensive piece that's a consistent number 3 to those 2 guys, your offense becomes almost unstoppable.
Let's try to the phone call here. Let's stay in Los Angeles. Let's go to Jameer. Jameer, you're on the Rams postgame show with Travis and Sua. What's up? Jameer.
Jameer or Junior?
Junior. Junior, what's up, Junior?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I just wanted to address one thing, man. Why does nobody mention McVay's ego? Like he decided to let go of Ernest Jones for a 6th-round pick, and then the Titans traded him to the Seahawks for a 4th-round pick, and look where he's at right now. He's going to the Super Bowl. Why does nobody ever address that?
Why do you chalk that up to ego?
He wants to be the one. He got upset that he didn't want to get a pay cut, and then he turns around and then gets Landman, and then they pay him money. And Landman wasn't able to do nothing. He's like a brick. He after he got paid, he stopped doing all those peanut punches, everything. I feel like it's just a problem. And with those draft picks, I don't want to see no Makai Lemon, no nut. We need corners. We need Mansour Delane or Jamon McCoy. We need corners. No, none of this. We're good on offense. We need defense. All of the draft picks just go on defense.
Thanks for the call, Junior. Appreciate it. Look, I think every head coach in that league has a very healthy ego. I don't think that Sean McVay is the only guy standing on the sidelines that is pretty sure in what it is that he's doing and how he wants to go about it. I don't think you get to that position in that league if you don't have a very healthy sense of who you are and what you're trying to do. I think Sean McVay is, and this is why I think the Rams are in really good shape. And ultimately, from 30,000, Sean McVay's operating principles, he wants to win. Right. And how he gets there, I think we could go around the block 100 different times. But I don't think that, like, for instance, we've talked about this a lot on my daily show, Jerry Jones. I think if we're listing the things that Jerry Jones wants to win. That's number 2 on the list. Number 1 on the list is he wants to win because Jerry Jones is the reason they're winning. Yeah. I think Sean McVay just wants to win. I think he's got a healthy ego. I think they all do.
I don't think it makes me laugh because I can't even fathom it. But McVay's ego is nowhere near the level of Jerry Jones.
No, I don't know if anybody's is.
So, yeah, so.
I'd also like to say that everything that Junior mentioned is Les Snead's job.
Yeah.
Not McVay's.
And for fans, I think fans kind of confuse how offseason transactions take place. Like they think it's vendettas by head coaches. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes if a head coach doesn't like a guy, they're like, no, you're out of here.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're gone. A head coach does have that power. But more times than not, the GM knows who he's getting rid of when it's week 10 of that season. I want guys to know he's negotiating and talking to other GMs around the season like, yeah, I'm not going to pay this guy next year. Do you like what you see on film? And who do you have over there contractually that makes sense that we can exchange for this? Because if you like him, I might like something you got over there, and maybe we discuss that during OTAs once the trade window opens. Like maybe that's something we explore, but it's not a McVay ego where I don't want to.
I don't think so either. The question about Landman, I think, is an interesting one. That he was the talk of the town for the first part of the season. He was punching the ball out. He's getting interceptions. He was getting the quarterback. Like there wasn't a game that we didn't come in here in the postgame show through the first 6, 7, 8 weeks where we didn't talk about Landman and his impact on the game. That was not the case in the second half of the season.
No.
We talked about him far less.
But this is what I was saying. It's amazing how many punch-outs he was getting because this is not normal. It's not easy. It hurts the wrist to actually punch the ball out on a consistent basis. And for how well he was doing it and getting the results he was getting, I was saying, like what is he doing for these guys not to understand that he's going to come punch the ball out?
He got one tonight, too.
He got one tonight on the sideline. And I said, usually guys don't attempt the punch out because it's dangerous because you get stiff-armed. You get tossed out the club lunging with one arm like that. And we saw as the season progressed, it went from, punch out, fumble, punch out, fumble, punch out, he got stiff-armed there.
Yeah.
Punch out, he missed the tackle there to, okay, now let me kind of tighten up and get back to the fundamentals. And that's just the human side of being a pro football player.
All right, let's talk. Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma Brands radio station.
All right, we'll take a look at Super Bowl 60, 2 weeks from tonight. Of course, we're going to have the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, 2 first-time quarterbacks in that game, and 2 first-time head coaches, at least, coaching in that game as well. It's all coming up on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Thank you for listening to Rams Seahawks tonight for the NFC Championship game.
Rams football is presented by Call Jacob. A lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. Call Jacob and he will win for you.
And, of course, you know Jacob Emrati. Call Jacob has a brand new phone number. Let's have George Sedano give it out.
Introducing Los Angeles' newest, most trusted injury hotline.
And yeah, hit him with the jingle, Jack.
Accident or injury, call Jacob Emrani. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
The energy doesn't end at the final whistle. You're already thinking about what's next. That's how progress works. Whether it's your living room, your storefront, or your next big idea, you bring the vision, we bring the materials. No gimmicks, no flash, just gear that works. Vista Paint. Keep the momentum going. As a distributor of PPG paints, Vista Paint combines proven performance with local service you can rely on.
I noticed that my central vision started to blur.
Figures that are usually straight started to distort and become wavy.
What are these little dark spots with blurring that I'm seeing?
There's a blind spot like a blob over my vision now.
Is my vision lost forever?
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist in a timely manner have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Don't delay seeing a retina specialist. It's worth the visit to save your vision so you don't miss out on life's precious moments, like seeing your grandchild grow up, enjoying a sunset with that special someone, or reading a good book. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This is the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network. Time to react right now with Travis Rogers and Sua Cravens. Producer Emily's here too. Rams postgame show. We'll take your reaction on the phone lines and look ahead at how we can fix it next season.
And the Rams lose to the Seahawks. The playoff run ends tonight in Seattle. Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl.
Rams postgame show right now.
Once again at LA Live with Sua Cravens. Back to Travis Rogers.
Really the only way to kind of put a wrap on the season. I think they go all the way back to the preseason when you played it every break. And
it was actually last year.
Was it really?
Yeah. And too bad Puka didn't slide out of bounds on that last catch.
Wow.
That's because of the name of the song.
It's called Slide.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Why do you keep telling me that like I don't know that?
My only contribution to
just
the
sing
show.
one bar from the song.
Yeah, I mean, Emily just did it. I don't need to do it. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I will play it when we're on the course tomorrow.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. The Rams fall to the Seattle Seahawks 31-27. I want to read this to you. And obviously, you know, the Rams are going to go into the offseason. They're going to try to get better. They're going to certainly need to figure out what they're going to do in the secondary. That's probably at the top of the list. But I get it. There are 17 regular season games. In the Rams' case, there are 3 playoff games that they played, and they came up 1 game short of going to the Super Bowl. So all in all, an incredibly successful season. But what's really interesting is they lost 5 games during the regular season. They lost the playoff game tonight. Here is a rundown of those losses, or at least a good chunk of those losses. Really, the only one that's not in there is the Atlanta Falcons Monday Night Football loss. Week 3 at the Eagles, Josh Carty had 2 field goals blocked in a row in the fourth quarter, including the potential game winner. The Rams lose that game 33-26. Week 5 against the 49ers, Joshua Carty had an extra point blocked in the fourth quarter, which would have made his game-tying field goal a game-winning field goal. Rams lost in overtime 26-23. Week 16 in Seattle, they allowed a 58-yard punt return touchdown in the fourth quarter, sparking a 16-point comeback. The Rams lost in overtime 38-37 in what essentially determined the number 1 seed in the NFC. And then tonight in the NFC Championship game, Xavier Smith muffs 2 punts, including one the Seattle Seahawks recovered at the Rams' 17-yard line, leading to a touchdown. The Rams lose 31-27. Of their losses, 4 of them can be directly attributed to big failures in the special teams department. That I get it, all 3 phases, et cetera, but 4 of their losses have come down to their inability to perform special teams.
Yeah. Waited a long time to make a change. And even then, when you made the change, the problem went from the kicking game to punt return and punt team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mental error. It's weird what was happening slowly but surely on special teams this year. It's like you saw the writing on the wall, and you're like, that's going to cost a really good team a Super Bowl berth.
It cost them the home field, for sure. I don't think that that's really debatable at all. You win one of those games, whether it's at Seattle during the regular season or in Philadelphia or at home against the Niners in Week 5, and maybe this game tonight is at SoFi, and maybe it doesn't change anything. Maybe they end up losing exactly the same way, but we'll never know. And 4 of the 6 losses that they've had this season directly attributed to special teams miscues or just flat failures. I mean, that play from Xavier Smith tonight was arguably the difference in the game.
He had 2 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 fumbles. I would have taken him out after the first one and not being overly critical. But this is the NFC Championship. And if Kyron Williams is capable of catching punts, and I know this, after the first bobble, I'm saying, Kyron, go.
Well, that's what they did with Cooper Kupp for a long time. They just sent him back there to fair catch everything. Like he would very, very rarely return a punt, just catch it and move on.
Ensure we get the ball.
Yeah.
That's what I did my freshman year at SC for a few weeks when our returner got hurt.
Yeah.
They're like, so we know you're going to catch it. So as soon as that ball was kicked, I'll fair catch.
Yeah, it's I guess, poetic, I guess, that the Rams ended up losing a season, or their season, I should say, came to an end in a way that was predictable in the sense that it was a failure of special teams in the secondary. Those were the 2 soft spots on this team all season long. So not a huge surprise there. Let's talk a little bit about Super Bowl 60, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. We talked about it before the game that whoever won tonight obviously was going to be a heavy favorite going into Super Bowl 60. You see anything that changed your mind? I mean, Drake May was not good. Snowy, it's cold, windy.
I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl.
Convincingly?
I wouldn't say convincingly. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be in the same type of battle they were in tonight. I think Seahawks will win like 35-21.
It does not feel like the Patriots are going to be able to score. The way that the Rams were able to hang with the Seahawks this year is because they were able to put up points. The Seahawks aren't going to be able to do that.
Because Drake May's mobile, it will pose a different type of threat for the Seahawks, and maybe it'll take a half to get adjusted to. But I just don't think the Patriots are mature enough to go into late into third quarters and fourth quarter games like tonight and find those drives that Stafford was able to find.
Do you think what happens with Sam Darnold this season? And look, Sam Darnold had a great year last year too. We talked about it. He won 14 games, had a rough time in the playoffs, had a rough time against the Lions in the final game of the regular season. But Sam Darnold comes into the league, number 3 pick, very highly regarded, goes to the Jets, doesn't work out.
It's the Jets.
Right. Goes to Carolina, doesn't work out.
It's the Panthers.
Right. Goes to San Francisco and really doesn't get a chance to play because he's backing up. So, okay, that doesn't really count. Goes to Minnesota and plays well, but they decide to move on anyway, and then goes to Seattle in his very first season. He's going to the Super Bowl and will likely be a favorite. Will other teams be more patient with their guy to let him find his way? Because Sam Darnold had to find his way to his 5th team before he settled in like that.
Well, it doesn't matter about those other teams. You got to have the right scheme. You got to have the right coach. You got to have the right play calling. All of that matters. And a lot of quarterbacks at every position, not just quarterback, a lot of guys get drafted to certain teams where the GM and the head coach want you to do what they want you to do instead of them drafting you to do what you're good at. And I've never understood why at the pro level, guy or coaching staffs and GMs will see guys and think that you can change what he does well and make him fit to your scheme, because then you ruin great players. You take their confidence away 4 years off of their prime, and then you let them go for peanuts, and then they go to a division rival who runs the scheme they should have been in the whole time. And you're like, well, we didn't have that player. He was never going to be that player with you. That's the case with the Jets and Panthers, at least.
I think that the league has gotten better at that, but it still happens. Like we've seen so many guys come in that do one thing exceptionally well. Like I'll use this as an example. It's not super recent, but everybody knows the name. Michael Vick comes into the league, and Michael Vick is one of the maybe the fastest guy in the whole league, right? And he can throw the ball through a brick wall, but he's going to make stuff happen with his legs. He's going to make stuff happen off schedule. And instead, you're trying to keep him in the pocket.
Stay in the pocket.
I think we're better at it now. I think when the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson, they're like, just go beat Lamar Jackson. Go do the thing that you do really, really well. But, yeah, the idea of, all right, you're a good football player at doing this. Okay, cool. We're going to ask you to do something totally. Why?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. They try to reinvent the wheel and make the game more complicated than it needs to be because, like you said, guys like Jerry Jones want to win because I put this team together. Mm-hmm. I saw the talent. And
I knew this would work.
I knew that this combination of players would get us to the ball. That's what he wants to say. He does not want it to be like, no, I hired a good coaching staff and I trusted them and just laid back and they made all the right choices. Jerry would not be happy about a Super Bowl that way.
They did it 3 times, and he didn't like it, and here we are.
Get rid of the coach.
Some years later. Yeah, the coach matters a great deal. Yeah.
This Super Bowl is one of the most improbable championships matchups in sports history. And let me give you some notes. This is from ESPN Stats and Information. So this is the first Super Bowl in over 50 years between two teams that entered the season with at least 60-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. So they were very long shots to get to the Super Bowl. The last time that two teams in the championship round were 60-1 odds or longer to reach the finals was the 1991 World Series between
the Twins and the Braves.
Yes, you're right. And the last time that two teams at 50-1 odds or longer both reached the Super Bowl was in 1981. So it's an incredibly rare feat that we're seeing these two teams that made coaching changes recently, quarterback changes recently, and both paid off.
The NFL is King Kong for a reason, and that's one of the reasons that it happens very, very quickly. And let's just put we haven't mentioned it until Oz the Mentalist wrong. Oz had the two, he had the Rams and the Broncos, so he missed on both of those. Seattle is a 4.5-point favorite as we sit here on Sunday night, 2 weeks out for the Super Bowl title, Super Bowl 60. Unfortunately, the Rams will not be a part of it, Sua. We're wrapping up our first season together. Enjoyed it a great deal. Look forward to doing it with you again next year.
Hey, same time next year?
We'll do it again. Hopefully, we've got 24 games next year.
Yeah.
We only got 23 games.
No, don't say
year.
that because it might be an extra preseason game. Don't say that.
No, we're never going back. 3 preseason games. Maybe it'll be 23, and they're in there as well. They get the bye next year as well. Emily Hebel, our producer, great job all season long. Jorge Briones, Rebecca, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for doing it. And you're listening to us here on 710. We'll see you tomorrow and breaking it all down and all week long. And I can't believe football season is over for the most part.
We're going to slide out of here like Virginia slid out of the playoff contention.
Woo! Ooh. Where's USC?
Oh,
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
where's USC?
Out 2.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Don't get spiteful.
Everybody's out. Even Jorge's Niners are out. Unless we know. Kasim will be happy. Kasim Seahawks are in. Super Bowl 60, 2 weeks from today. Thanks for listening to us all season long. Really appreciate that. We'll see you next time. This has been the Rams postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Rams Seahawks tonight for the NFC Championship game.
Rams football is presented by Call Jacob. A lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. Call Jacob and he will win for you.
And of course, you know Jacob Emrati. Call Jacob has a brand new phone number. Let's have George Sedano give it out.
Introducing Los Angeles' newest, most trusted injury hotline.
And yeah, hit him with the jingle.